Alright, so today I'm going to be going through some Yap-Yap gameplay. I don't get to play this game often, but I do enjoy it. I never really go for the surprise party because I find the methane might just be better given the buffs and debuffs it can give. These guys on the enemy team aren't really that good, but the people on my team aren't really, the person on my team isn't that good either. So I guess it balances out fair enough. I just want to split out and grab as many supplies and power as possible because each cannon fodder can only grab onto one stack. Only one can go onto a stack at a time. And you see here that because I bought that mini base, I'm a little behind in my economy and had to wait for that power extractor to come. But it's not too bad. And I'm going to have all these cannon fodder grabbing things for me, so it probably made up for it. Typically, whenever you're playing Yap-Yap, you just want to throw out as many cannon fodder as you want, as you can, because they're going to come in handy. They're going to provide a buffer for your better units. They're going to be a meat shield. That's why they named cannon fodder. What I like to go with Yap-Yap is just full infantry build until that stops working. Because people never really expect infantry too much. They never really prepare for it. So I go raid camp on this mini base, and I'm getting ready to pump out some heavy grunts. I find heavy grunts to be invaluable. They're very solid units. They might even be better than Marines once you add in everything else that you can pair them with, like the goblins, the dome, the glassing beam, even though that shouldn't really factor into it. And I decided to slap on a power extractor here to get some more power going on so I can get the second tech pretty fast, which comes in handy, as you'll see in a few minutes. Yeah, what's really strange is that the two on the enemy team didn't even want to go for this power here, which is really odd, because I think it's maybe 600 power, 800 power there, which is huge in the early game. They're just going to let me have it all, which also comes in handy. You can see my ally already took a second base, but he's playing as Atriox, so if anyone can do it, it's him. But that also means he's going to be slow to getting an army out, which is really the case of the entire game. See here, I got methane lagging coming out. If you don't know, this produces methane gas, which buffs units in a radius and debuffs enemy units in a radius. It only buffs grunt units though. So we have that going on. And it's going to give increased armor and speed, I believe, to my grunts once he gets here. You can see the radius right there. It's pretty good, but you're not going to really do well for your entire army with only one. And so I try to get my heavy grunts to capture the point since they capture a lot faster than cannon fodder. But the AI are kind of dumb sometimes, so I decided to pick up that mini base there to put a war castle and another harvester on. And you see that I'm going to tech up at the 255? 355? Nah, it's 355. And then I go to see if this guy has a base, and he doesn't. It's always good to just see what their opponent's doing. And I decide I want to grab this for myself. So I slap a heavy grunt there, and I build a harvester and a war council. And he just lets his jackrabbit stand there and get killed by my cannon fodder, so I'll take that trade. He just is down 200 something supplies. And I'm gonna go, what's the word, Apex, to get some engineers out so I can tell I'm gonna need them. And they drop these ice blocks down, so I realize that my heavy grunt who's capturing the point is out of range of it, so I can just leave him be and get my stuff out of there. So please don't shoot me to allow my heavy grunt to capture the point unmolested. And I moved my army around that wall to ambush them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slap the methane missiles that the methane wagons have to debuff their units and see if that will help me win this engagement. But that Frost Raven really screws me over. And so they do something, but it's not enough, I can quickly tell, because they have completely anti-infantry units. So I'm going to move my good stuff out of there and create some rangers, which is why that second attack came in handy. I got my grunt goblins coming, already down one out. People underestimate the grunt goblins perhaps. If you use their hustle right, you can survive against just about every single power in the game. And it really gets rid of the need for engineers. And you see here I'm going to send a cannon fodder over to nab second base for me. It's about that time. I'm in a good position, I have a good strong army. I can defend it if I want to. And I'm going to grab this power node because I've been putting it off for a little while. I'm just going to start spamming some heavy grunts because they're great. It's really crazy how Yap-Yap is allowed to have Glassing Beam 3 along with everything else he has, because Glassing Beam 3 is deadly. So this guy, I didn't catch it beforehand, but he's playing his cutter, so he's going to capture this point really fast, fussing my elite ranger over. But then he captures the nose, and my elite ranger doesn't have any sight on him, and after moving all that stuff, I kill him just before he captures the node. So now I see if he has a base again, which will pay off. Because I do get to destroy it, even despite their interference with leader powers. So he's really just got a little tiny base going. If I can see he's producing air, which is very important to know, but also good for me since I'm already on track to counter it with all my heavy grunts. And see, he kind of fails with that missile. It doesn't really do anything because he doesn't have anything to follow up on it. So I can just use hustle and heal up my stuff a little bit. And that base just drops pretty fast. I start upgrading my base. I grab ankle biters just for fun. And I grab a shroud. People also underestimate shrouds. I'm not really sure why, but I think cloaking is one of those hidden gems. I also think cloaking needs to be buffed, or units that have detect needs to be limited, because there's support units, as in engineers and nightingales, that have detect. There's snipers, anti-infantry, and elite raiders that have detect, and there's scouts. They need to remove that for one of those units, preferably for support units. And here I send my cannon fodder to scout and just to die, really, so I can free up some space. And I see that they have their drone out, which is really no big deal. And I start building some defenses on my bases because I've been neglecting that. I decided to buy Grunt Dome because it's one of the best powers in the game. If you don't know, then Grunt Dome produces a mini shield, a bubble around your units, and they can't take any damage until that shield is destroyed. And here I decided to grab Parties Over, the ability for heavy grunts, and you see I used that a bit too late. But it's alright, because it was dead anyway. I wouldn't have gotten there in time. I want to keep my shroud back so I can go ahead and die. So the party's over will allow me to do EMP vehicles and air units, which comes in very handy in just a minute. So I decided to get into the glass easy right now and wait until the engagement starts when I can clear my easy. So my ally doesn't really have much of anything right now, but that suicide grunt drop does come in handy. So I send those methane wagons over to fire their missiles. I never really caught if they did or not. Oh yeah, they did. Which helps us debuff the enemy units. So I decided to use a hustle to heal up that methane wagon. And then I just let my grunts do their work. So right about now, we've just killed every one of their infantry units, so I can drop a shroud and keep most of my units cloaked. And now you see I'm going to tab over soon to my heavy grunts and just EMP the crap out of that bison. And with that, I took out an army without really losing anything. So I'm just gonna pop some more heavy grunts out because they're working well and they're cheap. And I decided to move over back to my side. And it's time for me to get reinforcements as well because I'm supporting a small army. I just recently had a match that went on for 70 minutes where I believe it was Cutter on my team as well as Pavium. It was a 3v3 and I was Yap-Yap. And they had Colony, Serena, and Forge. It was really annoying because Colony kept going Banshees. He'd made nothing but Banshees for the longest time. And he kept killing our Cutter's bases. Our Cutter wasn't that bright. He wasn't doing too high. He kept making Condors to try to fight the Banshees. It wasn't a good time. But we also managed to take out Forge's bases at the same rate, to where both of our allies on each side like that. Okay, I'm going to drop the jump over here. To where both of our third persons on the team didn't have bases every now and then. I was handling the offense, Patty was handling the defense, and Cutter was just doing Cutter things. It really was a stalemate for the longest time until I brought up the blisterbacks. Moral of the story is, never underestimate artillery. And you see here I easily wiped those vultures with my combined powers, although it would have gone much better if they used their Phoenix missiles, but yeah, that's how it goes. The key to Yap-Yap is just timing of powers, really. You have to make sure you're using Hustle at the right time, Grunt Dome at the right time, Please Don't Shoot Me at the right time. Often what I find is Please Don't Shoot Me is effective in 3v3s when you're hitting a base and you're trying to get away with your good units. So you run back to your base while that's active, trying to save those things. And here I move my level 2 heavy grunt away, just to keep them alive, because it's always good to keep your veteran units alive, as you can see when I get really rolling in this match. The match is almost over, of course, but I just need to heal everything up and then I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go attack Cutter's main base. So I use one hustle to heal up some stuff. My ally actually helps me out here, because he basically drops me and drops a bulwark to heal my units. So just about at this point I'm ready to go. And watch the difference between this fight and now. Watch how much veterancy all my stuff gains. especially my heroes. So I decided right away I want to drop a methane party on his base, but I can also hit the drone to debuff him. So I'll take out those turrets more or less, and those pelicans, which actually proved to be a pretty wise move. And then I'll just drop a hustle to buff my way through these pelicans, which really came in handy. And I also dropped the shroud to protect my weaker units. And you see those pelicans drop easy, this is a problem I have with the pelicans. They're too weak. If it's against a scarab, they're gonna melt the scarab. But if it's against anything that has any semblance of anti-air, they're just going down. You see, I like to focus fire on the turrets since I do have anti-infantry turrets. And if you'll notice in the minimap, my ally is actually destroying Serena's bases with his massive Wraith army, which I didn't catch at the time. And this Serena really used their powers poorly, because they didn't even use Cryoblast at the right time. They used Seismic Blast before they used Cryoblast. It was just rough. And I decided to buy the Shade Turrets because the game's almost over and I just want to get the extra damage. I probably could have been using the Engineer Shield more, but it's not really the end of the world, especially since we won. And here, we got all their bases destroyed, it seems, so I'm just going to go and check what they got. Just make sure they didn't grab anything on a last desperate attempt. Really, if it was me, I would just quit at this point, because it's obvious it's over. But let's just, end it before, end it as fast as possible. So I just decided to grab that in case they got any vagrants roaming around. And then I'll go check this one right here. And grab it. And I see he's got a base, so I'm just going to drop a blasting beam for fun. And look at all that nice veterancy on my units there. And that's the game. Thanks for watching.